Hello, everyone. Well, it's hard to believe that it's already been 2 years since I bought my Workhorse Cyclonic vacuum. In the last 2 years, I've used this machine a ton, cleaning a variety of environments. Although comically dated in some ways, it's one of my favorite bagless vacuums. I wanted to make another video of it showing how it works, along with maintenance tips and things to look for to keep your Workhorse running great. This is kind of an oddball machine, and it's amazing to me that this vacuum can still be purchased brand new today, considering it first hit the market over 30 years ago. A little backstory, this is one of the first dual cyclonic bagless vacuums available to buy. James Dyson worked with a company called Amway in 1984 to produce a dual cyclonic bagless vacuum, but Amway ended up backing out of the deal, saying the technology wasn't ready. Amway ended up producing the vacuum anyways, using James Dyson's patents. Dyson ended up suing Amway over the product, and Amway sued Dyson right back. They ended up settling the lawsuit, and Dyson became a joint licensee of the vacuum, allowing the product to still be sold. The money from the licensing rights helped James Dyson produce and sell his own vacuum in 1993. I believe Amway eventually sold the rights to the vacuum to Bissell, who then sold the rights and tooling to the company that produces it today, WMJ Refurbish. So the original Amway Cleartrak is now called the Workhorse Cyclonic, and it's made in Michigan. WMJ Refurbish had the Workhorse tested by the Carpet and Rug Institute and has a silver rating for cleaning carpets. That's pretty good. The main factor in why it cleans so well comes down to the brush roll, which offers great grooming for a bagless vacuum. Just for fun, I put a Dyson from 2009 next to it, and you can see how spaced out the brush roll bristles on the Dyson are. Despite being a much older design, the Workhorse cleans carpeting better and faster than this particular Dyson, and it largely comes down to the brush roll design, as the Dyson has far more suction and airflow, but a much wimpier brush roll. Another thing that helps it is the manual height adjustment, allowing it to sit correctly on different levels of carpet. A lot of vacuums no longer have this feature, but I definitely prefer it when a machine does. The vacuum is made of thick, chunky plastic and for the most part feels extremely durable. This is almost completely unknown among bagless uprights today. Even the 30-foot power cord is a thick 3-wire cord, which is normally reserved for commercial grade machines. Workhorse believes that under normal use and if taken care of, the machine should last more than a decade. When you want to use the hose and tools, there's a dial near the base that diverts the suction. If needed, this dial can be easily removed and acts as a cleanout port if there's a blockage. Only the hose stores onboard the vacuum. The blue hose is easy to remove and store, and it's high quality. Any tool can attach to the hose or wand, but WMJ also sells an available tool kit with an extra long extension hose, greatly upping the versatility. When I use the tools on the vacuum, I almost always use this kit, and it's a great extra option. On the back of the machine towards the bottom, the vacuum features a foot-operated on-off switch and a handle release pedal. The handle release pedal is part of a large metal chassis, all of which appears far more reliable than any other bagless vacuum available today. Emptying the dirt bin is easy to do, but it's very different from other vacuums. When this was engineered, they were just figuring this stuff out. First, there's a latch on the back that you need to unlock. Then you rotate the bin slightly off this plastic lip that holds the bin on. You can then pull the bin down and dump it out. With the bin off, sometimes dust can fall off the Cyclone onto the base of the cleaner, so I'll wipe it off as needed. If you ever want to wipe out or rinse the bin, this blue post on the bottom just friction fits and can be removed. Just make sure that you put the post back in, as it's an important part. The Cyclone assembly itself is easy to remove. It simply twists and unlocks from the top. The Cyclone should be taken out from time to check a key area. The Workhorse is missing an important feature in bagless cyclonic vacuums, which is a perforated screen called a shroud. Without that screen there, the two air inlets for the Cyclone can get clogged with things like long hair, which has happened on mine. So I would recommend checking the two Cyclone inlets whenever you check the filters, or if you overfill the bin. If they clog, the filtration system will fail, creating a large mess. There's two locking tabs on the top of the Cyclone assembly. Make sure they're both seated, and the Cyclone will twist and lock back into place. The only filters you have to worry about are the two premotor filters on the back of the vacuum. There's a cassette tray that pulls out, and here you can access the washable premotor filter, and underneath that, the replaceable submicron filter pad. I doubt Workhorse would recommend washing this white filter, as it could warp in size, but it can be vacuumed off with another vacuum. Workhorse sells these filters along with 3 belts as part of a reasonably priced maintenance kit. For this demo, I'm replacing the filters along with the belt. Now I'll show you how to change the belt. On these, it's really easy. You just have to remove this this plastic bottom plate. It almost looks like it's nylon, given the color, but I'm not sure. And there's 2 Phillips screws. Removing the bottom plate will give you access to the belt on the right, along with the brush roll. The belt is looped around the metal motor pulley, and I just pulled the belt away from the motor until it popped off the pulley. That still spins nice and free. You can see some hair has built up around the end there. It tapering towards the end, not the smartest design decision, but whatever. So that just pulls off too if you need to clean this out, and it's fine. That ball bearing's in good shape still. While I had the brush roll out, I swept out the brush housing and where the belt rides. The base hose removes easily too, and this is another place to check for blockages. You can't see it here, but there's also a red thermal reset button to protect the motor from overheating due to a blockage or plugged filters. Here you can see how stretched out the original belt is compared to the new one. This belt did last 2 years, but I think under normal use, you'd want to replace the belt yearly or every 18 months, as the belt stretching out will significantly reduce the cleaning performance. I made sure to put that felt guard back in before I looped the new belt around the motor pulley. Then, using a little muscle, pulled the brush roll back into its housing, lining up the squares on both ends with the plastic base. When you put the bottom plate back on, you need to tuck the 6 plastic tabs into the 6 slots on the base of the vacuum. Then you put the screws back in, and I rotate the brush roll to make sure that everything is lined up correctly. That's it. Now that the Workhorse is tuned up, we're finally ready to clean. This vacuum is pretty quiet for a bagless upright and would meet the EU regulations of having to be under 80 decibels in noise. I've put down a mixture of ground-in fake pet hair, glitter, and shredded paper, and let's see how it does on this red rug here. I've got the height adjustment set to the lowest setting, and go ahead and see it started. That first pass forward and back, it did an excellent job. It left a small line down the middle due to the bottom plate, but that's to be expected. I'll now show you how to use the tools for cleaning hard floors and for general above-the-floor cleaning around your home. Because the brush roll is always spinning, the only way to effectively clean hard floors with the Workhorse is with the optional tools, but this setup is lightweight and offers a lot of reach. For everyday cleaning on hard floors, it does a fine job. This tool works great. The dusting brush is fairly soft and is great for general dusting around the home and would also be great for things like cleaning the dashboard of a car. Okay, now that I'm all done demonstrating it, I'll show you how to empty it. So as I said, this is an early bagless system and it's kind of weird. And you just unclip it in the back first, and then you have to twist this a little bit off this little plastic lip here that it catches on, and then it should drop out. Okay, so this thing has a massive capacity for a bagless vacuum cleaner these days, so it holds a ton of dirt. And the way it empties though, because again, this is an early system, and these early ones, they used to just dump out from the top. There's no trap door in the bottom like most new bagless vacuum cleaners. And all you do is you just tip it over. I'm going to try to do this as cleanly as possible. But yeah, that's it. And then to put it back on, I find that if you kind of hold it at the bottom, see if I can do this. That helps guide it up onto that Cyclone there a lot easier. And then you just push it up and then rotate it so it catches on that little lip there. That'll help it seal better. I found that out actually after I filmed the first unboxing of this. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Now that I'm all done cleaning, let's take a look at the filter. So there's a tray on the back here that just pulls out. Now again, it's remarkably clean. I did put a new filter in this just for this demo, but that is not bad at all. And this filter is washable. Long hair and things can get through the Cyclone and then will end up on the filter. So I have like done bigger jobs where I finished and a huge pile of hair was on the filter. And these will get dusty, so you'll want to check these every couple months. And then there's another filter underneath here, and this is spotless. This will get dingy over time. They sell these. Workhorse sells these on their website in replacement packs, and I have a few extra. Anyways, the new filter the filter just tucks back in. But considering all that fine dust and all the hair and everything, it's amazing that that's still completely spotless. So I've actually, even though this is an early cyclonic filtration system, it really does work great, and it would maintain, or it would fall under a no loss of suction type of cleaner. And then this just slides back in, and that's it. As far as things that I don't like about the Workhorse, most of my grievances have to do with the optional extra toolkit. The toolkit comes with this elbow piece, and what it did was a mystery to me when I first got it. This only fits the blue hose on the vacuum, but not the extra extension hose, which is a shame. The extension hoses fit with the wands is terrible and can come apart very easily. Although great to have, the extension hose is unchanged from the original 30-year-old version, and it's admittedly low quality. It's just a very cheap blow-molded hose, and it could be a lot better. However, I will say I still use it because the added reach is a great bonus. The combination bare floor brush is just okay in my opinion. I've never been a huge fan of these style tools. The nice thing, though, is that the generic 1.25" fitting of the wands means you can use almost any standard hard floor tool you'd like with the vacuum. I think this bare floor brush next to it is far superior, and I tend to just use this one instead. It's got softer brushes, so it's safe for any type of hard flooring. Thanks to the large opening in the front, it also doesn't snowplow larger dirt, and it's a good size for the suction level of the Workhorse. This is purely due to the design of this being so old, but it would be nice if the tools stored on the vacuum. The only thing that's right on board is the hose. I would use the tools more often if they were available on board. Now, I can forgive this given the age of the design, but generally onboard tools are something I take for granted on brand new vacuums. Not a big deal, but a small weird thing. The sticker on the base started to bubble up a few months after I bought the vacuum. Thankfully, it hasn't gotten worse since it started, so I've just ignored it, but I was a little surprised by it, as I've never seen that on a vacuum before. I can forgive this due to it being produced by a smaller company and being made in America. And then the last thing is that the vacuum does not feature sealed HEPA filtration. This was not a thought or concern when this vacuum was engineered. It hasn't been an issue for me as I'm not an allergy sufferer, and I do clean and replace the filters on the vacuum as needed, which will help. But if that's a deal breaker for you, it's another thing to be aware of. So there you have it. So much about this machine is a total relic, and I find it very novel. It showcases durability you simply don't see today unless you get into the high-end bagged vacuum market. It's a total anomaly among other new bagless machines, and I like it for that. It's really satisfying to finish cleaning and see all the crud the vacuum has collected, and this is one of the best cleaning bagless vacuums for carpeting available today. And even though it's a very early design, the bagless dual cyclonic filtration system works surprisingly well, and you can fill the large bin up over and over before you have to worry about cleaning the filters. If you can tolerate some of the dated aspects of it, such as it only having the hose on board, having to replace the stretch bell every year or so, and the lack of HEPA filtration, I think you'll love it. And if you take care of it, it will last a long time. I think it's great that something this sturdy is still available after all these years, and also made in America, which is unfortunately getting increasingly uncommon in the vacuum industry. Well, what can I say? I think this is a fantastic product, and although very quirky, it's one of the best bagless vacuums on the market. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and as always, thank you for watching, and have a great day.